What is good? Welcome back to the Dynasty channel, Mr. Chef. How you doing? Good to see you.
You know me, brother. Any day on this side of the dirt is a good one.
That's right. He's been over in them redraft streets, brought him in, hit you with a little Dynasty moves to make for your pleasure. Little week 6 action coming at you here. We're going to lead off talking about, real quick, and this necessarily might not be a move to make right now because I don't think you could do anything about it. If you don't have him, you don't have him unless you want to overpay. But where's Tyler Warren in the hierarchy of tight end rankings right now? Like, is it McBride, Bowers, and Warren? And is that all one group? Is there an A, a B? How are we breaking down this tight end? Laporta's been coming back on a little bit. You know, he's been doing all right. He's historically been the next guy up, but it seems like Warren has just, been fantastic. He's got a 22.2% target share. He's got 29 receptions, so a few off of where Trey McBride is at 37, but way less routes run than Trey McBride in this in these couple of weeks here. So how are we feeling about Tyler Warren? And how high can this guy go?
Once is an accident, twice is a trend, 3, and we have a new normal. So back to back years now, we've got elite tight end production from a rookie. And I think this might be the high, like next to Brock Bowers, like he belongs in the tier to me with Brock Bowers. And, I'm perfectly comfortable putting him in the tier with not Sam Laporta, but Trey McBride and Brock Bowers. My apologies. He would be ahead of Sam Laporta for me. Sam Laporta still confirmed awesome at football. One of the biggest red zone threats, if not the biggest standing red zone threat at the tight end position. I mean, it doesn't matter how many times you target him. He's just going to score touchdowns because Jared Goff trusts him. So yeah, but for me, Tyler Warren is the guy that you're going to be able to, and you could say the same thing about Sam Laporta, but he's the guy you're going to run the offense through. Like that's kind of he's a rookie and he's got a 22% target share. And this is just kind of the tip of the iceberg. Like Daniel Jones likes him and they're gradually figuring out, holy hell, this dude is awesome. And everything that he put on tape at Penn State, which low key has become tight end U, like they just put out, and all of the narratives about how he couldn't beat out Theo Johnson and Brenton Strange to get playing time. Like, let's put that to bed, guys. This dude is awesome. It's like, it's kind of a situation where Frank Gore couldn't get on the field because Willis McGahee and Clinton Portis were there at Miami. If you know what that means, you know what that means. So Tyler Warren, all I'd say, Tyler Warren is awesome. And I think we've officially entered into the tier talk where he's in that upper tier of tight ends. And I would just also like to point out that in spite of the Bears trying to, people trying to trade up to get Colston Loveland, Tyler Warren is still awesome at football. Thanks, guy who said that in like May or June.
Right. I mean, a 2.23 yards per route run, like you said, the target share is just below Trey McBride's, who's is a bit ridiculous at 26.9. Obviously, we haven't gotten to see Brock Bowers, but like I said, quite a bit less route runs, 166 routes ran to Trey McBride's 225, but has more yards, right? And just seems like he's going to be a big part of this offense moving forward. They're handing it to him. He's got plenty of red zone opportunity. He's got 198 yards in yak. I believe that's leading all tight ends, right? So get the ball in his hands and good things happen. It just seems, I don't know if we'll ever quite get the McBride Bowers volume we saw, last year, but I'm not sure that it necessarily has to happen that way for him to be up there and as effective with those guys. So I'm right there with you, man. Coming in, he was already tight end 3, 4, 5 for a lot of people. He's easily solidified 3 at this point, if not 1A and B, right? I think we're already there. Some trades on the market right now. We got Tyler Warren or Rashee Rice in tight end premium. That's where we're at, right?
How much of a tight end premium? Because that totally changes the math. Half point? Yeah, I'll still take Rice.
I'm probably still taking Rice, but that's real close.
Listen, that's a deal that you have to be okay with as the Tyler Warren owner, like looking back at and being like, man, I lost this. Because that's a distinct possibility. Like Tyler Warren does, to me, Tyler Warren will get to that, like, Trey McBride, 138 target, 15, 16 point a game upside, like in tight end premium. That's where we're headed.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Oh, yeah.
No equivocation. So if we're entering into that tier, if it was anything more than 0.5 tight end premium, I'm taking Tyler Warren and running
Give me
away.
the full point. I'm with you. I'm with you.
There's not even a question. Not even a question. He should be almost inacquirable unless somebody's going to alter the makeup of their team significantly to acquire him.
Yeah, here's Colston Loveland and a first or Tyler Warren.
See how crazy that is? Like you're giving up a first round pick. Was it 26? I'm trying to get this pulled up, and Dynasty Daddy's not cooperating with me at all right now.
Yeah,
but so I'm trying to get with you. But
so 27 first and Colston Loveland, tight end premium, half point, or Tyler Warren. So we just see how quick the juxtaposition can happen with those guys. And to be fair, Colston Loveland really hasn't played a whole lot. It's quite a bit different of a situation. But in right now, I would be like, yeah, give me Tyler Warren. But like in a year, it could really even out. Loveland's a very good player. We just haven't seen him. I would say don't make that move yet. Just hang on. Just relax.
Yes. That's the point that I was making, is just you need to react to this information. And if somebody's not viewing Tyler Warren as an essential piece on a tight end premium league, then you need to do what you can to get him, because the sooner, like, we're closer to them realizing what he is than him fading away into oblivion. And Colston Loveland, I do believe he's going to be really good. This was the better run out. This was, in our opinion, we've been consistent with this. This was the better run out for, one of the elite tight ends in the class. So now you're at a point where a few months ago, you might have clicked the button on Colston Loveland. Now we're clicking the button on Tyler Warren, and there appears to be this vast chasm. And it's just that we haven't seen Colston Loveland be good yet.
Right.
Not saying he's not good.
Exactly. Right.
Just saying that they haven't given him the same opportunity that Tyler Warren has.
Exactly. Yeah. And health has played a big part in that. And, we kind of thought this is why this game is so much fun, because it's like, he's going to the Colts. It's crowded. Their forward pass situation isn't great. Colston Loveland goes over to Ben Johnson. Look at the tight end usage over there and what he did for, and we don't get it. We don't see it. And then the Colts are one of the best teams in the league this year. Right. And that's just how quickly things change, and that's why nobody can say, oh, I've got this figured out. Right. And that's why this is so much fun. And that's why everything should change, and nobody should be that confident in what they're doing, because if somebody had it completely figured out, they certainly wouldn't be telling you about it. So let's have some fun. Enjoy it. Here's Tyler Warren for TJ Hockenson and 2/3. Look, I think TJ Hockenson and Tyler Warren are, not terribly off skill level wise, right? I think TJ Hockenson is an outstanding tight end. He's had some injuries, but right now that situation over there, and we're set using that word again. But it stinks, and we don't know when it's going to get a whole lot better, because we're going to have to use your words. We're going to have a run out of JJ McCarthy to figure out if he's good or not. Right. So I would love to make that trade right now for Tyler Warren. Yeah.
That's lunacy. Like, it just doesn't make a ton of sense to, like, either sell to if you're going to do anything, you sell at the maximum profit you can. But again, we might not even be close to what his peak value is.
Right.
Like, he could.
I think we're absolutely still ascending with Tyler Warren. Right. So, all right. This past weekend, I ventured out to a local comedy club to see some stand-up, and I didn't want to borrow from tomorrow whilst catching a buzz tonight with the boys. So I turned to the dope rope from our new sponsor, Into Cloud. Not only was it delicious, but it elevated my experience to new heights. It was a very clean, clear experience, and best of all, it was legal. They have so many options for any of your hemp needs. They have everything from Delta 8, Delta 9, THCA, and all sorts of flavors, potency, and the best part, it ships straight to you. Looking for better sleep? They got a gummy for that. Want a light social buzz without tipping into chaos? Easy. Need something with a little more kick? That's where Beast Mode Collection comes in. And if flower's your thing, they do $70 ounces all year long. No flash sale, no gimmicks, just an actual good deal. Whatever your vibe, quiet porch nights, book in hand afternoons, or a weekend hang with friends, In the Cloud has got a match that's tested, trusted, and delivered right to your door. In the Cloud isn't just another cannabis brand. It's a fully legal online dispensary that's already moved over 10 million gummies, mountains of exotic flower, and enough pre-rolls to impress Snoop himself. Every product is tested in a DEA certified lab that ships straight to your door. No sketchy dispensary runs, no guessing what's inside. It's federally legal THC made simple. That's why more than 50,000 customers already trust In the Cloud to keep their buzz hassle-free. If you're older 21, grab 30% off your first order and free shipping with code FFD at indacloud.com. That's indacloud.com, FFD, 30% off and free shipping. Snacks suddenly taste like adult Michelin star meals. Fill out the quick survey when you order to support this show, and then go finish that episode, that game, or snack you started. As always, please enjoy responsibly. Huge thanks to our sponsor, In the Cloud, for sponsoring this episode. Let's go to another guy who in JSN. And again, I don't know exactly how much moves we're going to be able to make here. I kind of just wanted to see where at this point we would almost do like even Stevens trade, and we can look at the market for a minute. But I've been saying on the football show, like, man, and in our group chat and everything, like, he's got to be close to a top 5 receiver at this point, if not in there. And everything looks great. The talent's there, the targets are there, the efficiency's there, the his skill level's there, his quarterback plays there. Like, he's the number one. It's not really changing anytime soon. So I wanted to see where you were kind of at with like JSN on the level of ascension here. And just also to remind you guys is like, we did a whole year of reminding you not to panic on JSN, and it's really paid off. And that's not to toot our own horn. I'm just saying,
no,
patience.
Patience. That is,
no, that's not what I'm trying to do.
I know.
And the same thing's happening with Rome Odunze right now, right? He's starting to become that guy. So this is all a part of the dynasty game. And sometimes you just need to be reminded that it's not redraft and it's not an immediate reaction. You have to stick to some evaluation and some, hey, no, this guy is good. Look, we've seen some bits and pieces of it. It just, the scenario and situation isn't playing out how we want it to right now. And Colson Loveland was a good example, maybe for the tight end wise, of like, hey, just relax for a second. Let's see what happens. Yeah. But JSN wise, like, are we in probably not quite in tier 1 situation right now for JSN, right?
Nah, he's not in tier 1, but my criteria for tier 1 has been consistent. It's like, have you been the wide receiver 1 overall before? Mm-hmm. Okay, then you can't.
We're heading there. We might be heading there.
We very well could be headed there, and that's why he's at the head of tier 2. Like, I would, if it were me, I would, if you're paying attention to what being the X receiver or the primary pass catcher in a Kubiak-Shanahan, the Kubiak-McVay-Shanahan love triangle tree of offenses, then you know that this is sticky, and they're going to continue to hyper target him. And this is a guy. I had to do this exercise myself, because if you're pretending like JSN is not an elite asset, let's think about it. Okay. 5-star recruit. Okay. Out of all the guys that they brought into Ohio State, he's the highest ranked recruit outside of Jeremiah Smith, if I'm not mistaken. Goes and hyper produces at a young age, at an early breakout. Okay. We all love that. Okay. Still put up 600 yards as a rookie coming off a wrist surgery and no training camp. And be like spotty usage.
And Shane Waldron.
Diddy Waldron. He survived Diddy Waldron. And now he's literally playing at one of the most elite levels of any wide receiver in the entire NFL. And people are saying that it's not sticky. And I can't allude to anything else to tell you. It's just confirmation bias at this point if you're fading JSN. I just don't understand. I don't understand. Man, fuck it. Let's just get into some of these trades, because like, this is JSN is elite, and if you don't believe that he's elite, it's nonsense. And I can't, like, there's nothing I'm going to be able to do to convince you that he's not elite.
Yeah, no, I mean what a good point of like, when you're coming from this kind of tree of coaching that JSN is now in, and the offense is being run, and they're still figuring out how to run this offense, right? That Kubiak hasn't had a long tenure of running an offense by himself, right? So. Yeah. what you need to kind of, and JSN is so much better than Brandon Ayuk, but looking at like Brandon Ayuk in that Niners offense when the Niners offense was at its peak is like you got a very souped up version of JSN who I'm sure is even getting more target. He's got a 36.36% target share according to Sumer Sports here. He's a 4.43 yards per route run. His target per route run is 0.36. These are all great numbers. His ADOT's at 13, so that's, solid number for that much volume. He's got 3 TDs. He's got 696 yards right now. I'm pretty sure that's the best, right? And 42 receptions, which I'm sure there's a few more guys with more than 42 receptions, but he's their lead dog. Now, maybe they do end up getting a little bit more of some competition in there. Cooper Kupp's a little old, and the tight ends, are doing what they're kind of supposed to do right now. But maybe Barner steps up, maybe Arroyo becomes another go-to guy, who knows? But they're not like spilling over with talent that they have to spread it all around with. So, JSN is bearing the advantage there. But even if it was, he's still going to be put in extremely valuable positions, and the targets that he's going to get regardless are going to be very efficient. And, again, think kind of Brandon Ayuk on those Brandon Ayuk breakout times, right?
Yeah,
that's kind of the way that I chalk that up.
The way that I would look at it is Brandon Ayuk if they just decided to hyper target Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, and Debo, not
if
Debo, not Kittle, and not.
Yeah, there's no Debo, there's no Kittle. It's just Ayuk and the passing game and the run game, and that's what you have with the run out with JSN. This is great. Like again. If you are fading JSN, which I was not the most bullish on JSN, but I still ended up with him like my wide receiver 9 in redraft, because if you followed football for any period of time, what this means. Like, what being the number one, the primary target, whether it's a tight end, whether it's a running back, that they're going to get targeted, and this is going to be an efficient offense. So again, he's showing you he's good at football. I always go back. He's showing you he's good at football. Like, let's believe him. And now he's showing you that he might be like dominant at the NFL level at football. Let's fucking believe him.
Yeah. All right. So would you rather have Brian Thomas or JSN right now?
JSN. I
agree.
And that's crazy because neither one of us would have said that before the season started.
No, I had Brian Thomas or JSN a tier below Brian Thomas for sure. Yeah. Nico or JSN?
JSN.
I tend to agree there. I think Nico we've seen Nico be as good as JSN's being right now. But I like JSN, a little younger, Dynasty.
Yep.
Great prospect. Drake London.
Ooh. Oh my gosh. Goodness gracious. I named one guy light skin Al Gaib, but I might have to change it. Because this is elite stuff that we're seeing from JSN, man. Like, we've all said, hey, be a little patient, like Drake London's got off to a slow start, but JSN's start is not only sticky, like we don't have questions about the quarterback, we don't have questions about the environment. They're both very young. But give me JSN.
Ooh, yeah, that's close. I'd probably cheat and say same tier, but right now, I mean, I'm being recency biased and going JSN because it's just been so damn good, and he's just, again, you go back to the prospect of being just so good, and now you're seeing it. Like, well, what's gonna do if he isn't in the slot where he really broke out on some? Like, he's been out there. All the questions are just gone, and he's so damn good.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Would the answer be Drake London just because you could get a plus? You could, like, if I sent JSN, I could probably get Drake London plus.
Yeah, it would have to be, I'd have to be, a really fun plus, I feel like, and I don't know that I'm going to quite get that necessarily.
Yeah, it's been a slow run out for Drake London. We did have the shoulder. I believe the shoulder injury played a factor early on. But he's getting hyper targeted. The games are coming. Yeah. We had the best game of the season this past. The games for Drake London are coming, but they're already here for JSN. They're not going to stop.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. And you look, is he going to have 138 yards every week? No, of course not.
No,
But
but I mean, like he's on
to
pace for
to
14
have
to 1,500
70 or
yards.
80 every week is probably likely, right?
It's a
And
1,300 yard pace if he just goes 80 for the rest of the way.
right, right. And here's one a day ago, JSN for neighbors, right? So if your neighbors got hurt and you're a very competitive team, I could understand why you were saying, "Hey, I don't want to get rid of neighbors." And then we're seeing the emergence of Jaxson Dart, which we haven't had a quarterback over there that we necessarily trust. But at this point, like I wouldn't be like, "Oh my God, that's such a terrible decision to be made right now."
Well, let me ask you this. Like this is so I mean, I don't know off the top of my head what JSN's pacing for target wise, but you know, it's going to be a little bit better for Malik Neighbors moving forward because Jaxson Dart was such an elite deep passer at the collegiate level. I think that's going to be a great run out. I don't think that there's a chasm of talent between JSN and Malik Neighbors as players. So
there's
yeah,
only one in what you remember from as good as Neighbors was in last year's, in the target share and how great his fantasy output was. We already kind of saw some roller coaster through that season. We just, it started off so hot for Neighbors, so he immediately jumped up to the top of the line. But now JSN's at the top of that line, and I think he's, like you said, what the level of outcomes from both of those guys are, I think is pretty similar. Like now we don't know exactly what offense is going to be run in New York in a year, right? We have no idea. So
hey man, it could still be Dayball.
It really could be. So yeah. No, that was a good one there. And here's JSN for Brock Bowers and half point tight end premium.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yes, yeah, so
again, 0.75 changes my mind a bit just because Brock Bowers has a similar target ceiling. Mm-hmm. But 0.5, I'll go JSN. Like it's obviously going to be a little bit more reliable. Like Brock Bowers does have some sort of injury concern going back to collegiate days in Georgia. So,
but yeah. No, I think for me the answer could potentially be Brock Bowers there. He'd be over a lot of guys, but I mean, man, I'm going to take JSN right now.
Well, that's the thing. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. That was all I had.
No, could it be Brock Bowers? Sure. But 0.5 isn't a differentiator enough to me to say I'll not take the 160 or 170 targets that JSN is pacing for and the 20 and a half PPR points that he's on pace for right now.
If he gets volume monstered, then maybe. But just some other quick trades here for JSN right now. Here's a first and a third. I would do that all day long.
Yes.
Here's just to kind of say, hey, maybe there is still some room, some wiggle room. Now this one was a day ago, so I don't know when it happened, but George Pickens and a 2 and a 3, I would do that all day long.
Yeah.
Let's see here. This is a terrible trade, so that's not real. Malachi Corley, Zay Flowers, and a first for JSN. That's a bad trade. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Bucky Irving and Pickens for JSN. It's kind of getting the Buckster in there, who's been as average, no drop off for him. That's full point PPR. Here's a first and a second for JSN in 28 and 27. I would trade that all day long. That's what I want my first to turn into, right? JSN.
Yes.
JSN, Keenan Allen, DK Metcalf, and a first. I'm probably taking JSN there, right? So there is still some options where JSN is obtainable, it seems like. So just, didn't think
Keenan Allen, DK Metcalf, and a first, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd still take JSN.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I like DK's been great. I think 4 straight games with a TD and looks good out there. But again, we don't know what the hell's going to be going on in Pittsburgh in a year with who's throwing into DK Metcalf. Keenan Allen's, you're getting a nice little run out here, and then that's a first.
It's perfect. So, that's why you acquire a guy like Keenan Allen, or you held on to him when he was a free agent, so that you could tear up in a manner like this. Did you see this one, Roma Dunze and a 27-1 for JSN?
Yeah.
Where you land there?
I think I want to still say JSN, but that's pulling at heartstrings right there, because I think Roma Dunze is going to be ascending to JSN like levels with Caleb for the next however many years. So you got a little something else on top right now. I'd say even for me that,
That's
Rome with
about
the first.
the breaking point price wise where, if I have Rome Odunze and I'm trying to get JSN, if they say 27-1, I'm like, oh, can I give you 2 twos?
Right. What's good? You know the phrase, the house always wins? Well, not anymore with our new sponsor, ProfitX. ProfitX, America's #1 sports prediction market, is a peer-to-peer sports prediction market where users play against each other instead of a sports book versus the house. You almost always get the best price in any spread, money line, total, and player prop since you're playing against other people rather than the book. It looks just like a sports book, but with way better odds. So what are you waiting for? Go download the app and use promo code FFD to claim up to $200 in profit cash on all the plays you use in the first 30 days of playing on site. Link in the description. Now, let's look at that Thursday night game because it's Monday right now when we're making this. So we don't have a lot of prop options, which is really where we've been making our bread and butter. But we got the Cincinnati Bengals at home versus the Steelers on a Thursday night. Last Thursday, we saw the Giants take care of business at home versus Philly. So let's ride that train on the home underdog on the short week, taking a little bit of that Joe Flacco magic and getting us a little dub here. Cincinnati Bengals +4 this week on your Monday night pick here. Peace. All right, let's move over to the New York Football Giants. I wanted to do a quick stop with Jaxson Dart, and then we've done Skattebo already in the recent weeks, but I want to check on that value again. And then we'll have a couple more quick ones to close out this episode here. So Jaxson Dart comes out, plays great, then goes to New Orleans, has some turnovers, and now he's back up to the King of New York over here, beating the Eagles, slaying the dragon. Comes out, plays a pretty good game, runs around. There's some recklessness we need to harness a little bit, but he's really about that life. There's certainly, some growing pains there. He's a rookie, but he can. What we saw in the preseason, both of us adjust our rankings because what we saw happening in the preseason, and it's since transferred into here, and he's not playing with a great cast of characters either. He's lost his best player in Neighbors, which maybe that's kind of good for him in this year. I mean, it's never good to lose your best player, but he's kind of having to figure some other things out right now. Hashtag warrior. But I'm very interested because I don't exactly I don't think there's enough information to say what am I making of Dart and where do I place Dart. There's been plenty like Drake May or Dart's questions, and it's like it's May by a mile right now. But I mean, by the end of this season, we could be like, damn, Dart's really, really got something here, and this is awesome. And just through a couple of games, you have to say, hey, man, this feels different from where Jaxson Dart kind of started for me anyway, because I wasn't the biggest fan, and now he's really grown on me. And I like the guy. I'm just fantasy-wise, where does he kind of fall in the QB spectrum for you right now?
This is a tough one because, neither one of us were huge, but I did leave the light on for him to be better. So I scooped him up in a few rookie drafts, and I've been thrilled with the results. I was mostly just banging on the rushing hitting and him just kind of being just scattershot. Hey, chuck bombs, fuck moms, like just really getting after it down the field. But then with Malik Neighbors, Malik Neighbors tears his ACL and meniscus, whatever. So I do expect for him to be, probably in that 12 to 15 conversation on a week in, week out basis. Like that's, he has top 5 upside because he's going to run. They're going to use his legs. They were using him in packages when Russ had the job. That was short-lived. Now they're just letting him run around. And that's kind of we're seeing it a lot just across the league. Like, hey, if they turn their backs to you, just run.
Yeah.
And that's, he had a 600-yard rushing season in college, and like that, it's translating. So I think we're going to see a ton of him with his legs. I think throughout this month, we'll see defensive coordinators start to maybe turn the screws a little bit and find things that he's uncomfortable with. So we're going to see those massive fantasy performances start to trickle down a little bit, and really and honestly just be able to, profit.
Yeah, I think putting 8 in the box and a spy, or however you want to play it, is going to be interesting to see kind of how things move. And that's going to be the disadvantage of not having neighbors. Obviously, like I said, there's never a good thing losing your best player. But I just meant like him having to work other things rather than just, YOLOing it to neighbors a little bit, having to see and make plays and do other things.
This should be a fun month for him. And then, like I said, the defensive coordinators will start like figuring out what he's uncomfortable with and making him do more of that. So then we'll get a correction going into November. And then maybe by the end of November, the Giants adjust or somebody gets fired. And then we get fun YOLO Jaxson Dart for the rest of the year.
Yeah, well, that's a big thing. Like some of these other players, you kind of know that, hey, this is settled in, you know what's happening. You don't exactly know what the Giants are going to be. Like you're pretty sure the GM's gone at this point. I would almost guarantee it. And then Dayball is hanging on by a thread. So that could be good, or it could be somebody worse comes in and F's this up again, right? So that's a delicate flower there to be dealing with. I had Jaxson Dart at QB 26, right behind basically Sam Darnold. So currently, how they're playing, would you rather have Sam Darnold or Jaxson Dart?
Yeah, give me Sam Darnold.
You'd rather have Sam Darnold?
Yes. He has all of his weapons. He has a week in, week out like run game and an elite wide receiver. I know Malik Neighbors will come back, but again, we're going to be looking at potentially a transition of regime in New York. So I would still take Sam Darnold. He's playing really well, and the environment is just much, much better. Apologies to the Jaxson Dart, like the Dart truthers or whatever you guys call yourselves.
The darters.
Yeah.
Here's this one I've actually seen a lot, and I asked a couple of Discord questions from it. Jaxson Dart or Jordan Love. That seems to be the kind of where this is fallen into place. And look, obviously Love was much higher than Darnold, but I think Darnold needs to be ascending too, was a bit more of the point of that first question that I asked you there. So would you rather have Love or Dart?
I'd still take Jordan Love.
Yeah. I think so too. Look, Dart's got some good legs. There's a lot of these guys are starting to have some legs. Dart's legs, he's really taken advantage of. It was a good part of his game. I didn't know how it would translate. It's translated very well. It's a big part of a lot of these younger guys' game. If there's not that many roaming around the NFL streets right now who can't make something happen with their legs. So I think for now, the answer for me is Love, because I just know a lot more and I feel a lot more comfortable with it. But like you said, by the end of this month, by the end of this year, we might be going, man, oh man, Jaxson Dart just with the floor of his legs is pretty good. And then imagine they get Neighbors back and add another weapon on offense, which they desperately would need to do coming into next year, regardless if Neighbors was healthy or not. That's a big thing. Hey, surround your quarterback with all these pieces, get him another offensive lineman, and get him another receiver here, and let Skattebo and Tyrone Tracy go to work, right? So certainly interesting there. Here's some other trades. Jaxson Dart and a first, or Lamar Jackson. This is a Dynasty Daddy trade. That's Lamar.
I've been looking at that the whole time. I was like, I really hope he brings this up. Because 1000%.
Jaxson Dart, a 26 first and a 27 first for Josh Allen. Now you're getting a little younger, and maybe you're seeing like a little bit of a Allen-esque Dart in some ways, potentially. Buffalo was pretty bad until Allen got there.
It's possible. I mean, it's possible. It just, what you've seen from Jaxson Dart makes you think that it's, like we're going to behave as though this is a certainty. We've gone from Josh Allen to Drake May to now Jaxson Dart. Like I told you, this is the discourse is going to start happening. Yeah. And this is 1000%. Like you knew, like this is, 27-1, 26-1 and Jaxson Dart. Like, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. Here's 2 firsts for Jaxson Dart. So that's a nice, you come up on your, you probably paid an early second for Dart. Yeah. So that's a nice little come up. And then my last question here would be a lot of 2 firsts right here for Dart. That's the 3 or 4 trades with that in it. 2 firsts and a second there. would you, if you had a redo for your Tennessee Titans, would you rather start your franchise right now with Jaxson Dart, or you still feel confident in Cam Ward?
There's nothing that makes me believe that Jaxson Dart would succeed in the environment more than Cam Ward would.
That's kind of the question, right? Right.
Like he runs
Except
around.
He'd be more willing to run.
He would, he'd run more, and then we'd potentially and then he'd, just get smacked, and then I would just be living in eternal sadness.
Yeah.
Like this is,
Let's take a look at his partner right now, Cam Skattebo in crime. Between those two guys, they've got New York buzzing like we haven't seen in a minute. We've done Skattebo recently, but he's hot in them streets. So let's see where Skattebo is right now. Here is Skattebo and a 2 for Jonathan Taylor. Take Jonathan Taylor and run. Here's Cam Skattebo and a 2 and a 3 for Quinshon Judkins.
Yeah, I'm still. What side I'm on.
Gotta take the Judkins.
Yeah, what side I'm on comfortably.
And here's the thing, like Skattebo got it was going kind of how we thought it might. And I'm not take locking on this because both of us really we just had Skattebo ranked a little lower because of the situation coming in. It felt like something needed to happen, and it did. All the cards really fell right for Skattebo. I don't know if moving forward that it'll just be the Skattebo show consistently. This was the first game back of Tracy with the shoulder, and maybe it will be. Maybe Dayball's just like, F it. It's Skattebo all the way. I think we may work back to a little bit more of a split, but I could be completely wrong. So I don't know if I'm ready to just go Skattebo's the full-time, for sure, locked-in number 1 for the next 4 years for the Giants, and I could be completely wrong, and everyone's probably screaming, how can you not say that right now? And it's like, well, we get really caught up in these little chunks of moments, right? Skattebo's done nothing but be super impressive, right?
Listen,
my only thing is I don't know if we're quite, I don't know how much more work and how much further can this go? I'm not sure.
Okay. So we did this exact thing with Tyrone Tracy.
Mm-hmm.
He played really well. It was like, hey, they're not gonna take a day 3 guy and put him over Tyrone Tracy. And CTE Scat Pack, the Anglo-Saxon assassin, we've been here, and I will go and pull up the things where it's like, yeah, the reason people are shitting on him is because he's a white running back, and it's funny and it's campy, and he's just a meathead, but it's actually happening. But at the same time, as a responsible dynasty manager, you spent a 2nd or a 3rd round pick on Scat Pack. You can cash out right now just because there's a good chance that if everybody gets fired, then they draft someone with better draft capital. And we're doing this whole thing again. And people are screaming in the comments about how it's got to be Cam Skattebo. Did you see what he did last year? It's got to be. So if you want to get off the roller coaster, that's absolutely fine. I do believe that he's a decent NFL running back. That, I mean, his superpower is powering through contact balance, and just want to. I don't. It's just
what he's giving them right now is exactly what they need, right? And so I understand that, and but that can change quickly here. But he's good. I'm not trying to take anything away from him, and you should be excited that you draft him. And the people who were telling us we were wrong, the situation and the play of how I was viewing it was playing out exactly how I thought it was going to. And then, things happen. It's the NFL, and here we are. Right. And so you can make some money on Skattebo. I don't know that I'm trading for Skattebo. I think I'm mostly just holding my Skattebo unless I can turn him into a Quinshon Judkins or a Jonathan Taylor. If I can upgrade my Skattebo, I will. Here's a 26 first for Skattebo. I don't know if I necessarily want to do that right now.
I got one that's going to make you really upset, or not upset, probably happy. Honestly, you turn Scat Pack into Caleb Johnson and 26 first and a 27 first.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, obviously I'm a huge Caleb Johnson guy, and I look like the idiot in the room right now because Caleb Johnson has gotten absolutely no run. Actually got some okay run in this last game here and there. Looked okay for a run or two, and then boxes got loaded and really, really screwed his yard per carry up. But at one point he was 12.6 yards per carry on 2 carries. But I don't hate that. I don't hate getting 2 firsts plus a player that I really like who just hasn't gotten any opportunity.
Dude.
And if you're, that'd be more of like I'm potentially like rebuilding this thing a little bit.
The two firsts alone make this a smash. And then you get a player you like on top of it. So yeah, I thought for sure you would be more excited about that one. But,
yeah, I'm in. Man, Skattebo and a first for Ladd McConkey, do that.
Yeah.
Right. Trade.
Yeah. You got Cam Skattebo and Tre Harris for Ladd McConkey. Lock that in. Yeah. I'm good with that. Like
there's some upgrade potential to Ladd, but I'm not, or to Cam. I'm not moving Cam to move Cam. I think he's a very startable running back, and I don't mean to think that Tracy's going to come back in here and split time. I think as long as Dayball's there and he's getting the energy from that Dart and Skattebo are giving out right now to the world. I think he's going to stay in command of kind of what's going on, and he's awesome. He's been awesome. He's a lot of fun. He looks exactly like he looked in college, which was maybe the only knock was like, can he do the same stuff when it's professional players? And the answer is yes. It's just, he's not going to have a ton of like huge runs, but that's, as far as lengthwise, like he can have impactful runs that are, get the stadium fired up and get the boys fired up. And like, he's trying to help change the culture, which I think is absolutely awesome. So congrats to the Skattebo owners. I don't own a ton of Skattebo. He was usually a little too rich for my blood, and I was off on that one. But if I could upgrade, here's Skattebo for Bucky Irving. Like, come on, like this is like, that's more.
For Ashton Genty getting moved for Cam Skattebo and a 26-1-2. Like, yes, sign me up for that.
Yeah. So if I'm doing anything with Skattebo, I'm moving him to a big upgrade there. So. All right, let's talk. Let's take your pick here. Two wide receivers who haven't broken out. Both guys we really liked, right? Mm-hmm. Jayden Higgens for the Texans, Tre Harris for LA. I'm buying both, but if you had to pick one to go buy, who would you buy?
Tre Harris.
I think I generally agree with you. I mean,
it's been a rough run out because Quentin Johnston turned into 87 Jerry Rice over the course of the first 5 weeks of the season. And like, we all had him targeted to be one of the biggest breakouts because we thought that was going to be his role. I mean, he's a deep downfield, winner. And, it's just that there's a ton of skill set overlap and Quentin Johnston is playing really well. So I think that if Keenan Allen moves on and they reshuffle a couple things on offense, like 2026, we could be. Tre Harris is coming off a career high in targets and yards. Jayden Higgens is also coming off of a career high in targets before the bye. But I do think that they're going to continue to play Xavier Hutchinson. Even so, he's got his own problem. Tre Harris has the problem, but he's in an environment where they might just lean on Herbert for the next month to just throw it 40 times a game. And if that happens, then there's a runway for Tre Harris to matter more first. I had Tre Harris higher, so I'm gonna just stick with my pre-draft evaluations. I loved both. We both loved both, but I'm gonna go Tre Harris.
My initial comment was Tre Harris. I like Tre Harris. I like Tre Harris more. I think I'm going to go Jayden Higgens just because I don't know that Christian Kirk returns after this year. They might let him float into the ether, and then Jayden Higgens moves into a bigger role faster. Would be the only, but I just with Quentin Johnston really emerging to like you said, 87 level Jerry Rice, which dude, he's been fucking awesome, man. Like, and you can't take it away anymore. It's not a fluke at this point. No. Like he's good and he's going to be used. And so I think I would go Jayden Higgens there. So here's Tre Harris for your boy Brashard Smith.
Yeah, I'd send Brashard to get Tre.
Here's Tre Harris for Darren Waller.
Trying to look for Tre Harris.
Some one-on-one. Tre Harris, Jalen Royals.
Give me Tre Harris. I mean, Tre Harris is like my wide receiver 3 or 4, if I'm not mistaken, throughout this whole deal. So
Tre Harris for Xavier Legette.
Easy.
Yeah. 2 fourths for Tre Harris. And these are all real trades from Dynasty Day. We're not making up, when we're talking player for player, a lot of, what we were doing through this, we were kind of just scatting, just seeing what was up. bullshitting. But when we're saying the actual numerical trades and all that, these are real trades that happen. We're not just making them up. They're on Dynasty Data. You can check them out yourself. So yeah, here's Tre Harris for Jordan Mason. So that's kind of interesting.
Tre Harris for Jordan Mason. God. Okay. All right. That's
probably keeping Mason there.
Yeah, I'd have to take Mason just because this is, he's got starter money. They're going to run the ball a ton. They upgraded the offensive line. There's a clear path for the next 2 years for him to matter more than Tre Harris will.
Yeah. Looks like Jayden Higgens might be maybe a little more expensive than Tre Harris.
It's weird because, he caught a touchdown, and that's like the only thing that he's...
Two of them.
Yeah.
Maybe that was Jaden. Maybe Hutchinson caught two.
Hutchinson caught two against the Ravens, but Jayden Higgens had his lone catch go for a touchdown against somebody the week before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I think I would go Jayden Higgens in that match. So, I don't mind buying both of those. Just want to talk about some guys that didn't break out. All right. Let's do a tight end real quick who's hot in them streets. Dallas Goedert right now is absolutely doing some work for the Philadelphia Eagles. Probably not a bad time to look into maybe moving them. Saw him hit a lot of trade blocks this morning.
Man, this is the quintessential sell high guy. Like, if you can, or tier up.
Right.
Like, I'm not a fan from a fantasy perspective just because it's never going to be his show. It's going that way right now, but AJ Brown is about to have a nuclear meltdown. So we can't continue to let Dallas Goedert get 9 or 10 targets in a game. Like, it's just, maybe they just say screw it and just continue to ride this out. But yeah, this is a guy that I would be including in a lot of trades to tier up at the position or tier up elsewhere.
Yeah, it's great for the buy lows of Dallas Goedert that you got this year, so that now you can go ring the register and sell high. He's at the he has the second highest target share of any tight end in the league right now, right?
Yeah, that's wicked work. Yeah.
When we came in the first couple of games, we were like, man, Goedert looks like a big part of this offensive plan right now, much more than the other two receivers, and they're finding ways to get him the ball, and he's got 5 touchdowns, right? He's getting in the end zone. His yak is super low right now, but his ADOT's at 8.73. That's not a terrible tight end ADOT.
No.
So his yards per route, well, this is a lot of other guys, but no, Dallas Goedert is out here playing real. I'm trying to see how many receptions he's had. He's got 24, so that's 9th overall, right? And 243 yards. So, I don't know if they're going to make a change at coordinator or not. I don't know what's going to happen, but it does seem like something needs to happen in Philly, and they got to figure a few things out. But let's go see what we could get for Dallas Goedert here, if anything, that really tantalizes the old taste buds here. So we got Dallas Goedert, a 1st and a 4th for Trey McBride. Just PPR though, nothing crazy.
Sure, I would do that.
Be able to go.
I wouldn't want to. I don't like sending a 1st and non-tight end premium for a tight end, but you got to pay the cost to be the boss, I guess.
Yeah. So here's a 2nd for Goedert and 28. Here's a 27 3rd for Goedert. Those are all, if I could move the 2nd, but 28's a pretty far time away. That's not necessarily the move I'd be trying to make. I'd be trying to find, like you said, I think an upgrade is a better move right now for Dallas Goedert, right? You're trying to add him to something. Here's a 26-2. Here's a 26-2 and 3. So if you could get that right now to trade up and you didn't need Goedert and you were a little bit more in the rebuilding phase and somebody could really use him because tight end play, frankly, is down quite a bit, then I don't mind that. But I think I'm more interested in like an upgrade situation. This one's fun. Here's Mason Taylor. It's just full point PPR, no premium. Mason Taylor, Knoll, and 2/3. Like, that's a little more fun for me for trading away Goedert right now.
Yeah.
Getting a bunch of younger guys. Here's Goedert and a 2 for Swift and a 4. What do you think about that? I don't love going to Swift necessarily either.
Not at all. not at all. I don't. Quinshawn Judkins and Dallas Goedert for Amarion Hampton in a 26-2. That ends up being a wash just because, to me, I have Quinshon Judkins and Amarion Hampton basically back to back as rookies, and they've both been really impressive. The 26-2 for Goedert would be good though.
Yeah, it is half point tight end premium in that particular trade.
Yes.
Here's Dallas Goedert for Xavier Worthy. That's stupid.
Ew.
That's a good trade. Jared Goff, Goedert, and a 26-3 for Breece Hall.
Oh wow. That's
2 quarterbacks though. Jared Goff in there. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's something. I don't really like. You're saying Jared Goff that's top 6 or 7 in points per game, man. I don't like doing that.
Yeah, so I'd be more interested in like I said, taking the approach with Goedert of can I add him to a trade and tier up at a specific position, whether that is tight end, or like, hey, if I'm trading away the 2, like getting a bunch of the like, can I trade away Goedert and get our boy Aronde Gadsden and a 2, right? Could I at least do that? And see, can I buy low on a tight end there, right?
Right.
That'd be kind of, that's not necessarily the tiering up method of thinking, but like, all right, like Colston Loveland, we talked about him earlier in the show, like Dallas Goedert for somebody you drafted Colston Loveland high, thinking you're going to be able to use him. He's a high draft pick. What do I got to add to Dallas Goedert to go get Colston Loveland? It's going to be a lot, but like, Kincaid's playing pretty well right now. I don't know how you feel about that, but like, what could I add to Dallas Goedert? Could I add a 2 to Dallas Goedert and go turn that into Kincaid?
Would you add a 2? Would you add 2 2s?
Probably not 2 2s, but Kincaid's been pretty solid
I think he was a tight end 4 coming into this week.
Yeah.
Like he's finally, living up to the rookie hype.
Yeah. It's coming back around. It looks pretty decent as well. But yeah, how can I take Goedert and upgrade him? That's the move I want to make right now with Dallas Goedert. And you're not going to be able to necessarily go up to the Laportas or Warrens of the world right now unless you're adding a lot to him. But your boy Tucker Kraft or like a Colston Loveland, who hasn't been really playing a whole lot right now, just in the tight end realm, might be some decent options.
Absolutely.
All right. Anything else you want to talk about before we wrap this one up?
No, man. That was fun.
Yeah. Appreciate it. It was great to chop up and talk some Dynasty stuff with you.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be back here as soon as the season's over.
Until next time, I'm Casey. He's Chev. Peace.